Welcome to Camborico, the podcast with Pedro Martinez and Rosemarry Mel. En 3, 2, 1, y here we go.
We're live.
This is the third podcast. Let me take my headphones off so I don't get some of that feedback in the background. All right, so we made it. We got the first, second, and third podcast out, and welcome to our podcast, Camborico, the podcast. So we are doing great still. It's September the 7th. By the time we're recording this, probably going to come out tomorrow. Today's Labor Day. This might come out tomorrow morning, Tuesday the 8th. And we're in the middle of the hurricane season. September is the hottest, most active month for hurricanes. But so far we're doing good. We got a couple storms that went by. We're watching another few systems out there coming from Africa. What's up with the Africans sending us all those hurricanes, you know?
I don't. For some reason, they just start there.
Yeah, so we've been doing fantastic, working the land, getting things done around the house as usual, and we're just sharing with you some of our thoughts on different topics. That's what the podcast is all about. So one of the things that we've been talking lately, and this has been ever since we moved, probably 2012, is how well or how not well the expats integrate. You know, people that come from outside of Puerto Rico, they integrate on the island. It's a very unique situation here because, you know, Puerto Rico is still part of the U.S. and the Puerto Rican people is really welcoming everybody that comes in, but we have also noticed through folks that we know, to whether it's friends or just people that we hear about,
Or
is
we met along
that
the way in our adventures.
yeah, exactly. So we are in a unique situation because, you know, I'm from here, but you're not, so you have a different perspective of eye on certain things,
I agree.
and expats being one of them. One of the things that I can say is that the locals accommodate. They're very welcoming for the expats coming in, especially those that will love to learn the language and I guess embed with them, hang with them, make friendships with them.
I guess, but for me, for some reason, it's just not lasting because a lot of people are bilingual here. A lot of people, they understand English, but mainly speak Spanish. So for me, I was able to talk to people in the beginning, by speaking English, and they spoke Spanish back to me, and I understood I understood the conversation based on what she knows and what I know, based English or Spanish, and I was willing to learn and push myself to speak the language and to understand the culture and to understand idioms and sayings, and even, you know, I was very open to their ideas of how life is and what their viewpoints are. But I've noticed a lot of people who do, we'll say, like, emigrate here and decide to start up a life here, they become very isolated. And so, like, I guess like anybody else, you search for somebody like you. So they mainly gear and group together. I guess they find each other somehow, and there's like main hangout spots, and you just go
And when
there,
this time they find each other, you mean the other English
like,
speakers, or because mostly what I've seen is Americans are the one that typically react that way. Just so not everybody, but a percentage of them. When they come here, they isolate themselves in the sense of they're looking for other Americans to hang out with, other expats, because obviously expats are looking out for each other. Um, and that seems to create a problem for some of them because they feel isolated. They don't have support from the community or support from the local government, especially the municipality when they need something done on their property, or where they need some help because the economy or a hurricane. And we saw that especially after Hurricane Maria, where folks were actually um, feeling left out because there weren't many people reaching out to them. But it's because, again, if you don't make friends, I mean, how come people reach out to you? I mean, if you isolate yourself, how can you expect people go out, behind you and watch over you and protect you and so on?
I guess here, like, your network is very, very important. Like, a lot of people in our area in Rio Grande, they seem to have grown up together. And so they're cliques that have already been here for years. And even when we were coming, when I first came here, we mainly hang out with your high school friends, like everybody that you've known for years. And from there, we met their network, and then we kind of just like expanded out until eventually we created our own network. And that took years to do. That took we've been here what, 8 years now?
Almost 8 years. Yeah,
It
8 years
took
now.
years to develop our network and a good group of friends.
And it is not like you have to work at it. Oh, build a network is a work to. No, it's just meeting with people, having a beer here, there, stopping by different places.
Drinking
and
helps.
go
Drinking helps a lot.
go outside of your street or outside of the same people you hang out with and start meeting other people. Um, right after Maria, I noticed that again some people felt left out. However, let's talk about the other side of that because there are a big number of expat groups, especially in the Rincon area or Culebra. There's small pocket groups that they look after each other. They are
they're tight knit.
yeah, exactly. So they are they watch over each other. They make sure the community is well taken care of. They have reach out groups. I mean, they have nonprofits. They're well organized, and no every group is like that. You have groups, in the other areas that are other than Rincon and Culebra that are a little more sporadic. I'm not sure what the reason is, but they're not as organized in the sense of looking after each other when something is missing, where a tragedy comes in, whether it's a hurricane, whether it's an earthquake, whatever emergency. They're not as organized as these other groups in Rincon and Culebra that tend to, I guess, plan ahead. Understand that hey, we're here by ourselves, and we decided that we don't want to, integrate fully or socially with the locals. So therefore, we have to look after each other. So I wonder how would that play in other places other than Puerto Rico, because if you're trying the same attitude to go, for example, South America or Southeast Asia, it's going to be very different.
Well, and even in Southeast Asia, I mean, what I've seen, I've never been to Southeast Asia. I'm first generation. But what I've noticed is that when I hear the stories of people who've traveled and came back and told the stories, that even though your facial features and everything can be Asian or, but when you talk, they automatically know you are not Asian, so they don't, your attitude is everything when it comes to the Asian culture. So you're automatically known as like an outsider, and they'll treat you that way no matter how long you live there, no matter how integrated you are, they will treat you as an outsider. I mean, there's a saying in Japan saying like the nail that sticks out has to be hammered down. And if you can't be hammered down, you're always going to stick out and be treated that way. But Puerto Ricans here, they're very accepting, they're very open, but you also have to reach out to them. And I've noticed, like, if you don't reach out to them, they might not make the effort to be or not feel comfortable enough to reach out. Like there's some instances where I understand like my speaking ability of Spanish might not be as clear, even though I can listen very well. And so not many people are open enough to talk to me open like without you around. They always look to you to kind of confirm, like, did I say it right to Rosa? Did she understand? So I was sitting there like, I heard what you said. I speak funny.
Probably understand better than me sometimes, So yeah, it is, and it puts in perspective, why is it that um, the same crowd cannot do the same thing somewhere else outside Puerto Rico, but they come to Puerto Rico and feel like, I can just move in there. I don't even have to hang out with the locals. And as a local, as somebody that's from here, I can tell you, sometimes that attitude rubs you the wrong way because, hey, you're welcome here, everybody. However, if you want to have your own clan, go back to where you came from. That's what the initial
Oh,
uh,
that was
thought of as a lot of the locals. They tell me, when I talk to them about that, I say, hey, why they coming here if they don't even want to integrate, which is a little funny.
well, even in the culture of the U.S., I don't like. I would live next door to somebody for years and not even know them except for just to say hi. That's it. I don't know their family. I don't know their friends. I don't even know their ideals.
If they're pedophile or not.
No, that there's a list for that. I'll know that for sure. But it's just like it's hard for some people to get out of that bubble that they're in, and when you come into a culture that's so open, and then the culture sees you as somebody very closed, they don't feel comfortable to approach you. While me and you, I mean, I'm open. I'm just like, well, fuck it. If I'm here, I'm gonna be part of it. If I say a wrong word, I'm not gonna be insulted if you correct me, because that's how I learn. But except for sometimes I get pissed off when you're correcting my English, and I'm like, English is your second language, and you're correcting me.
Well, it's just a habit.
Yes, and sometimes Pedro does speak very eloquently, and I do not.
Sometimes, just sometimes. But yeah, it is interesting. From my experience, I can tell you when expats integrate into the local community, they typically becomes leader of the community because they come with this outside experience, very neutral experience to what the local whatever, whether it's a system, has to deal with the municipality and the services with it, or whether it's a nonprofit that's just doing things for a good cause, such as the nature, natural resources around here, or maybe just putting some stuff together for somebody that has cancer, or whether it's simply putting up small businesses and helping other people to start small businesses. So there's also a small percentage of those that are come and become leaders right away because they understand, that they come with an open-minded, more open, I should say, where they have seen some things that the locals that probably they never travel outside Puerto Rico haven't seen, and perhaps they don't have the education, they don't have the exposure, the experience. So it's both ways. So it's not just only one way and negative. Is there are positives too. What would you say to somebody that decided that they want to move? Where would you recommend them to move to on the island? What town? Or...
I don't know, the Luquillo, because I fell in love with Luquillo when I came here. It's a laid-back atmosphere. Most of the people are bilingual, and then locals also travel there for the beaches there and stuff like that. So you could meet the locals too and expand your community. And for some reason, their attitude in Loquillo seems to be more open to newcomers. So when they don't know you at all, they're like, hey, have a beer with me. Here, let me buy you a beer. Yeah, where are you from? And then they'll ask you all those, initial get to know you questions. And then they're like, oh, cool, and blah, blah, blah. And, you create a even if you're there on vacation. I guess they know that a lot of vacationers go there, and so they're good at small talk. They're good at getting to know you in a small amount of time, and they make you feel comfortable. So I liked it there. I would say Loquillo.
Yeah, Loquillo is actually pretty good. Rincon, such as Cabo Rojo, those are more, I would say, California style towns.
Oh yeah.
They very they're very close in the sense of they get pulled together. Um, their communities are very solid but together, and they try to integrate with the local expats. But I think they're better because they're better organized, as I said before. Um, they have more support. However, they seem to be two towns that are more seasonal. There's no people that are full time living. A season that has vacation homes and they come around and they have a lot of Airbnb. So the atmosphere is slightly different than Luquillo. Luquillo is more of a, people are moving to Luquillo. They not just have property. They just decided that's their place they want to call home.
That's their home. But I think Rincon is more of a, yeah, you're right, a seasonal place because there's like the surfing season, and a lot of people have their vacation homes there to go for the surf because the waves there are spectacular, and then the sunset is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Sunsets are beautiful. At least for me, it's a nice place to visit. I wouldn't live there.
I wouldn't live there.
But it's definitely nice. Cabo Rojo the same way. It's probably like Rincon, but on a smaller scale. Very seasonal, but that might be a good place. Now, Culebra, on the other hand, Culebra is a place where they're very close together. They have one of the best communities. However, they understand that Americans moving to Culebra, they really thought about it. They really did the research, and if you're there, moved in, you're part of them because okay, we have nothing else, so we have to look after each other. And that's what I heard, and that's what I've seen, especially after Hurricane Maria, where Culebra just came back up. Americans helping to each other. They integrate super well with the locals. So that's one of the probably the best examples that we have seen is Culebra compared to Luquillo and Rincon and Cabo Rojo, where they're very well organized, and the municipalities, they understand that these people are here, and we have to take care of them, and we have to integrate them. So it goes both ways, not only from the Americans coming in, the expats, but also from the locals. This is a very bonded community.
I like that place too.
Yeah,
It's nice.
well, it's nice too.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful, beautiful place.
Definitely. All right, so it is there's probably many things to talk about the expat, but those are the things that we were
Yeah, it was more
discussing.
of like
Yeah, it's basic.
Curiosities.
Yeah, just curiosities, just observations that we have made, through friends, through people, acquaintances, people that we have met over the years. How they feel about it, also how the locals feel about it. Puerto Rico is a unique place when it comes to expats because there's a percentage of the island that feels that we've been invaded.
Oh yeah.
That we're not Americans on paper because by choice, it was forced into us. So there's still some of that mentality of nationalism, and I think it's coming back. Not in a very dangerous way, just simply in a way that people are tired of the corruption and they want to move
after
on.
Maria, there was a lot of strong feelings after things had happened and occurred, and
Right. I mean,
finding all those supplies.
exactly. How mismanaged things were, from the help that was already provided, from the reserves that we already have here for those occasions, whether it was FEMA, whether it was the local government and municipalities, all the warehouses they found, all the things went bad,
I know, it's so
spoiled
sad.
food and
So many people
water.
were in need.
Yeah, so many people were in need. So Puerto Rico, the people of Puerto Rico are tired of
Yeah,
it.
the trust was on like thin line, but now it's like worse.
Alrighty. So other things that we need to discuss is organic farming. Um,
Oh my
Organic
goodness.
farming in Puerto Rico seems to have a different connotation to the U.S., which is in the U.S. Yes, you eat healthier. You don't use pesticide. You're trying to certify organically, and you go through all the hoops of getting your product certified organically. That therefore
Mm-hmm.
you can charge a little more, but you get what you pay for. I mean, you're paying the
We're
premium
quality
price. You're getting
products.
the premium product.
Uh-huh. There's, I don't know, in the US they have this their standard. And so I think a lot of people understand those standards. But here in Puerto Rico, I've I've experienced a couple of organic farms because I'm all about eating healthy and pesticide free, GMO free, or whatever.
And sustainable too.
Yeah, sustainable. And so we like to support those local farms, so hopefully they would grow and flourish, because the quality of the products is like, I don't know, I guess it's better for you, maybe it's a mental thing, but then when you actually get the product, it's very disappointing. It's like, I eat a lot of vegetables and I make a lot of stir fries, but when you say you have a product and you have its price, it's not mentioned as to how, by pound or by bunches or what. They just say for bok choy it's $2. Like,
So the portions they don't. They might say it's a bunch, but how big is the bunch? For example, when you bought bok choy, what was the price?
it was how much was it? It was probably like $5, and
For call a bunch, right?
a bunch of bok choy. But the bok choy were baby bok choy, and there was only three. So
Three bok choy
three
heads.
little heads of bok choy, and that's a snack. It's not a stir fry. And I was like, okay, I could have spent like $2 more. I got like a bunch of bok choy, like enough for my family to have a stir fry. So it was a little disappointing, and the delivery.
So they don't have it by pounds or anything. That they don't tell you what you're getting until you finally get it.
So
So it's
it's a
a hit or miss.
surprise. Yeah,
Okay.
it depends on.
And we're talking about when you are ordering and they bring those boxes. It's not like where you actually go there and pick it.
Yeah, that's right.
That'll be different because if you're there and pick it, that's where you're gonna know. Oh shit, maybe I don't want to buy it here. It's way too expensive, and first of all, you don't even know if it's really organic.
Well, that's true. But the thing is, it's like, okay, so I don't know if there's a certain regulations with, labeling your farm organic or selling organic here. But you have to really work the land to get quality products. So if you're going to work the land to be able to sell the products, I would think your efforts will go towards to making the best quality product at at an affordable rate that you can charge for a person, whatever. But your product is your main thing. And if it's just like maybe like my garden, I would be like, I could have grown three bok choy. It would have been like the same. I would have been more satisfied, I guess, with getting it.
Well, the thing is, we are we are trying to support the local farms, and we understand that yes, you pay a little more premium for it, but sometimes it's just way too much. I mean, there's no way you're gonna pay that much money, and then even if they tell you, hey, it costs this much, costs $10 for a bunch. I expect a bunch that you can feed the family. All right, nice bunch of stuff, a lot of products, so like I can go back and order more and get more. So um, I don't want to batch those few farmers that are actually doing it. It's just that I think there's a disconnect between the local economy, the quality of product, and what their business model should be, as far as okay, yes, you have a premium product that you can prove to me that's organic,
Exactly.
and then what? Then how much am I getting? Be clear up front. Okay, you have a half a pound, sell it by the pound, And I hate regulations by the government personally, but there might be some kind of reference, some guidelines, not regulations, but guidelines as far as, if you have organic farm, sell it by pound, half a pound, or if you have a bunch has to have certain way of in
Yeah,
grams or pounds, whatever.
whatever.
So at least when you know you're buying a bunch from one guy, you're getting the same amount with somebody else is saying your bunch too. So a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of broccoli from this guy, the same size as a broccoli from this guy, and then
Exactly.
a little more,
I mean, a lot of farmers here they do hydroponics, and they go through their other
which
organic.
is I don't think it's organic, by the way.
No. I mean, hydroponics is just basically putting chemicals into water and having your plants grow super huge. But they can have organic hydroponics by using the waste from a pond like tilapia, and kind of recycle that water, and you go up, and it's a cycle. And my parents do that, so they do it with different herbs because they have a really good koi pond that filters water, and we have 3 layers. Well, anyway, um, but I can see that those who the local vegetables here, like pumpkin and the different gingers, turmerics, those grow great here. And if a lot of the organic farms could focus on what grows great here rather than like bok choy's Asian. I mean, so you'd have to work with the soil. You have to do things to make sure that the environment is perfect for it.
Right, they're not natives, therefore they
Yeah.
need more effort into it.
So if they focused on like organic farming for local vegetables that thrive here, then I think it will be more successful because there's, it's already made for whatever vegetable you're growing, like, um, or even unique items like the torch ginger. And not many people know about the torch ginger, but they use it a lot in Asia. And it grows here like rampant. And it's the most delicious thing that you could ever eat. But not many people know about it. So if if you could market that and then have this unique product that grows everywhere, I think it would be successful.
I think so, and hey, that might be a good business opportunity for somebody uh, with the time to put into organic farming for exporting to Asia. I don't know what the regulations are here for exporting stuff, but you know
Well, I don't know.
it's one of those things. Alrighty, so this is it for today. Again, we're trying to keep it short. We don't want to break uh, any record for the longest podcast or anything like that. But again, expats coming here to Puerto Rico, my advice just integrate with the locals. Start meeting the locals. Start building your network because who you know will definitely determine uh, how good services you're gonna get. And I think we mentioned that
Mm-hmm.
briefly in the last podcast, where you are gonna get the help from the local municipalities if you know somebody. So that will make the difference between getting a service 2 weeks from now versus getting somebody here tomorrow with their truck and getting things done. With doctors, if you have doctors, you can wait 6 months for an appointment, or you can just wait a week. So it's a
Yeah.
lot of things that in Puerto Rico that it depends who you know, how well you're gonna be provided with services, how well you're gonna integrate. So I will advise just network. Get to know your neighbors, get to know your community, participate in nonprofits and other things that are
Mm-hmm.
of the benefit of the community. And that's it. I mean, enjoy the life and the good weather here in Puerto
Mm-hmm.
Rico. It's nothing
Help clean up the
better.
beaches.
Yeah, definitely. And organic farming. I think there's a few people that we have seen that are trying to do things right and support those. If you're here on the island and you know any farmers, especially organic farmers, sustainable farming, support them.
Mm-hmm.
Share your ideas, share your comments, your feedback. Be honest. Just tell them, hey, this is a little too pricey. I could understand why. However, if you offer me this, negotiate, because if you're gonna keep buying products and I'm gonna bother supporting them instead of going to the local Walmart or Costco or Sam's Club, I think it will be a bi-directional relationship. It's not because you have a product you have to buy it. No, no, no. Let's negotiate. If you are going to sell me a product and you expect me to buy constantly from you, at least a monthly basis, work with me. Yeah, work with me. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Please, any comments, questions directed to us in regards to the podcast or any of the subjects such as living in Puerto Rico, living off the grid, living in a shipping container, please use the comment sections below this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so and hit the little bell icon so you are getting notifications when we upload a video. We are shaping the podcast as we go and the next I guess dozen podcasts, so we are evolving. Hopefully we're getting better with the camera, we're getting better with the audio, and things will get there. So if you have any feedback on that, please I welcome those as well. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and until then, the next one, I don't know when the next one's gonna be, but whenever. And before we go, I'm gonna give you a shout out to Corey Man X. Corey, thank you for watching our videos. We enjoy your blogs and YouTube. Pretty cool. Hope to meet you soon, and I look forward to more of those videos. I really enjoy it. We'll see you. Have a good one.